husband cheated on me with his work wife, so I became her actual boss. Haley ran my husband Walter's office like she lived there with him. Every morning she'd arrive before him, watering her collection of plants and brewing coffee in her personal machine. I watched her once through his doorway as she adjusted picture frames and fluffed couch cushions she'd brought from home. When Walter arrived, she'd inspect him like a wife sending her husband to church, smoothing his collar and brushing invisible lint from his shoulders while he stood still, accepting her touch as routine. Over the next few months, the plants turned into a full garden. Haley brought in a couch she'd found because it matched his aura perfectly. She started keeping slippers under his desk for when his feet hurt. The coffee ritual expanded to afternoon tea service with china cups. She stored them in his filing cabinet like precious heirlooms. Then came the dinner where Walter mentioned Haley understood his vision better than anyone. I asked what he meant, and he quickly changed the subject. 2 weeks later, I confronted Haley at a company mixer about her boundaries. She touched Walter's arm and said I was threatened by successful women. Walter pulled me aside and told me I was embarrassing him professionally. Their colleagues watched as Haley smiled sympathetically at him. That pattern continued through the fall as Walter's hours grew longer. He'd text that Haley ordered dinner for them to work late. I started finding furniture store receipts in his jacket pockets. One night, I discovered a text on his phone from Haley. It said their special project would change everything for them. The message included a heart emoji that made my stomach turn. I surprised Walter with dinner that night, walking into a scene that shattered our marriage. They sat barefoot on her couch, her head on his shoulder, wine glasses glowing under string lights. Their photos covered the wall. My husband and his assistant playing house in his office. She understands what it takes to build something real, Walter said after they scrambled apart. You can either accept that or not. No apology, just ultimatum. I tried counseling. He called me insecure. But that afternoon, I found proof in his desk. A lease agreement funded by our joint savings. A business plan with both their names. They weren't just having an affair. They were building a company, a future, using my money while I played the fool at home. I stared at those documents for 20 minutes. Then something shifted inside me. That's when I stopped being his wife and started being strategic. I called my lawyer friend who specialized in corporate acquisitions. Haley's firm was owned by someone nearing retirement who wanted to sell. Through intermediaries, I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. While the deal progressed over 6 weeks, I played the oblivious wife perfectly. I apologized to Walter for overreacting about his work setup. I even suggested Haley deserved a raise for her dedication. He eagerly advocated for her new contract with updated terms. Hidden in those terms was a comprehensive non-compete clause. It prevented her from working for competitors or starting similar businesses. She signed without reading, probably planning their company launch. I documented everything during those weeks with help from Haley's former intern. The intern, Jennifer, had been treated like furniture for 2 years. She helped me track how Haley used company cards for personal shopping. We found billing records showing client hours during furniture shopping trips. Every detail went into my due diligence file. The acquisition closed on a Monday morning in early spring. I walked into Haley's office while she arranged fresh flowers. Good morning, Haley. I believe you've been making yourself quite at home here. She turned slowly as recognition dawned on her face. The flowers dropped from her hands onto the carpet, water spreading across the floor like her spreading panic. Her mouth opened and closed without sound. In the conference room, I explained the new policies calmly while she gripped the table edge until her knuckles went white. All personal items had to be removed from executive offices immediately. The couch, plants, and coffee maker would go to charity. But I need my things, she said desperately, her voice cracking. What you need is to read your employment contract, particularly section 15B. She tried to quit that afternoon but discovered the non-compete trap. Her hands shook as she read the clause again and again. She couldn't work anywhere in marketing for 2 years. When she realized she was trapped, she actually whimpered. Walter called me screaming about corporate sabotage, but I reminded him we worked for competing firms. Any interference would be investigated as potential espionage. I transferred Haley to our satellite office across town immediately. The building sat in an industrial area with no restaurants, no coffee shops, nothing but warehouses. Her new role involved data entry and client surveys only. No more executive assistant positions or client contact allowed. I promoted Jennifer to supervise all of Haley's work. Jennifer, who remembered every dismissive comment every time Haley made her fetch coffee, now controlled her schedule. The justice was poetic as Jennifer assigned her the worst accounts, the ones everyone else refused. Haley resigned in 2 months. Walter's business collapsed in 3 weeks. They turned on each other viciously online, destroying what remained. Walter wanted forgiveness, but got divorce papers instead. I tripled my investment selling her company. Every morning I brew coffee in her old machine, gazing down at Walter's building. He's alone now, making his own coffee.